You're listening to the Quint's podcast.
The farmers' protest in Uttar Pradesh's Lakhimpur Kheri district on 3rd October took a grim turn as at least 8 people were killed, including 4 farmers, after a vehicle part of a ministerial convoy allegedly ploughed through the crowd. The vehicle, according to several media reports and farmer statements, was part of a convoy in which the Union Minister of State Ajay Misra's son Ashish Misra was allegedly part of and was allegedly driving the SUV which ran over the 3 farmers. In the horrific violence which followed the incident, 4 BJP workers who were part of the minister's convoy were killed. The angry farmers also reportedly vandalized and set fire to the convoy vehicles. According to statements by farmers, one of the 4 farmers was allegedly shot dead by Ashish Misra and others were run over by his vehicles. Though the minister has denied the claims and has stated that his son was not present there, an FIR for murder has been charged against his son, though no arrests have reportedly been made yet. Meanwhile, the incident also kicked up a political storm with the UP police stopping and detaining opposition party leaders like Congress's Priyanka Gandhi and Samajwadi party leader Akhilesh Yadav from visiting the site. The state government also prohibited Punjab and Chhattisgarh chief ministers from landing in Lucknow after both expressed that they want to pay a visit to the kin of the deceased farmers. So, what exactly happened in Lakhimpur Kheri which has warranted such a strong reaction from the Uttar Pradesh government? To discuss this further, we spoke with Aditya Menon, the Quint's political editor. You're tuned in to The Big Story, the podcast where we dissect the headline making news for you, and I'm your host, Himmat. So why did farmers gather to protest in Lakhimpur Kheri district? According to media reports, UP Deputy Chief Minister Keshav Prasad Maurya and Junior Home Affairs Minister Ajay Misra were due to visit the district on Sunday to attend an event. In response, the farmers had gathered and staged protests around a helipad in the Tikunia area of the district, where Maurya was initially supposed to land, but then changed plans and reached the district by road. Now, there are conflicting reports on how the protest turned violent and what exactly transpired. According to statements by the farmers, they had first surrounded the helipad and then returned to the road through which a convoy would pass to receive the ministers. At this point, the farmers were at both sides of the road with black flags protesting. And as per media reports and farmer statements, Ashish Misra, son of Union Minister of State Ajay Misra, had reached the site to receive the Deputy CM and allegedly ran over 3 farmers with an SUV that he was driving. The farmers have also claimed that Misra shot one of the 4 deceased farmers, killing him on the spot. The Samyukt Kisan Morcha, the umbrella body for farmer unions leading the protest, identified the 4 farmers as Lovepreet Singh, Daljit Singh, Nachattar Singh, and Gurvinder Singh. At least 12 to 15 others were also injured, according to the union. However, in a contradictory statement, Ajay Misra said that his son was not present at the spot of the incident and that the convoy was attacked by farmers with stones, resulting in one of the cars overturning and crushing 2 farmers. But what triggered the protest in the first place? Why were the farmers gathered in Tikunia? According to one Times of India report, it leads back to a controversial statement made by Ajay Misra, who belongs to Lakhimpur Kheri district, at a public event last week, where he can be heard slamming the farmers' protest, saying, quote-unquote, "Fix yourselves or face me. I will fix you in a matter of minutes. I'm not just a minister or an MLA or an MP." According to Aditya, the farmers started staging more protests in Uttar Pradesh to put more political pressure on the BJP state government ahead of the polls.
Yes, no doubt. It has been building up for the past few weeks. I think the farmers realize that uh, the only way they can get the Modi government to listen to them is if they make the government realize that it stands to lose political ground due to the protests. And the only way the farmers could have done that is by mobilizing in Uttar Pradesh, where the BJP is facing a very crucial election in a few months' time. So that was a major reason why the farmers intensified their protests in Uttar Pradesh. I mean, Punjab and Haryana, this kind of protests of preventing the ruling party leaders from addressing rallies has been going on for some time. But this time, I think they wanted to do the same in Uttar Pradesh. On the other hand, the BJP also is desperate to ensure that the farmers' protest doesn't become a key uh, narrative ahead of the assembly elections. BJP would much rather have the election on national security related issues or on Pakistan, Taliban, communal issues, and things like that, which are way more in the BJP's uh, in line with BJP's politics. So I think the BJP on its part is afraid that that the farmers shouldn't take over the entire election discourse. So that is the political backdrop of this stand.
Soon after the incident took place, mobile internet was suspended in the district, Section 144 was imposed, and barricades were put in place by state police at the UP-Delhi border at Ghaziabad, preventing any traffic to come into the area. The incident also became politically controversial as opposition leaders tried to make their way towards Lakhimpur Kheri to meet the kin of the deceased farmers. Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi, who was on her way to the district on Sunday evening, was stopped and then arrested by UP police, according to several media reports and party statements. In videos posted by Congress Youth Wing National President Srinivas BV on Twitter, Gandhi can be seen arguing with the police for stopping her and demanding a warrant for her arrest. In one video, she can be heard saying, quote unquote, "You give me a legal warrant, a legal basis, or else I will not move from here and you won't touch me." End quote. Here is a short audio snippet from a scuffle with the police.
इधर जाना
मैम कुछ नहीं, मैं इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं हूँ, मैं उन लोगों से इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं हूँ जिनको तुम लोगों ने मारा है, समझे? जिस सरकार को तुम डिफेंड कर रही हो, नहीं मैम, समझे? गाड़ी के नीचे कुचला है, मैं उससे बड़ी नहीं हूँ, मैं उससे मिलने जा रही हूँ, नहीं कुछ नहीं, आप मुझे वारंट दो, मुझे अरेस्ट का वारंट दो, मुझे ऑर्डर दो, मुझे लीगल बेसिस दो, नहीं तो मैं नहीं हिलूंगी यहाँ से और तुम हाथ नहीं लगाओगे मुझे।
Meanwhile, Gandhi's arrest was also followed by an increase in police presence outside Samajwadi President Akhilesh Yadav's house in Lucknow, as he too announced a visit to Lakhimpur Kheri on 4th October. However, he was not allowed to leave, resulting in a sit-in protest by him and other party workers. In a video captured on social media, he can be seen being detained by the police and escorted to a police vehicle. Condemning the detention of Gandhi and others, Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot slammed the UP government, saying, quote unquote, "Only a dictator government can do this," and that the violations of civil rights is also against the spirit of the constitution. Apart from Gandhi and Akhilesh, the UP government also barred Farmer Union leader Rakesh Tikait, BSP leader Satish Chandra Mishra, Bhim Army leader Chandrasekhar Azad, and Aam Aadmi Party leader Sanjay Singh from reaching Lakhimpur Kheri. The UP government took barring opposition leaders a step further by denying Punjab CM Chief Minister Channi and Chhattisgarh CM Baghel to land in Lucknow. But why is the UP government preventing opposition leaders from visiting the district? Is it to prevent the opposition from scoring any political points ahead of the upcoming elections, or to not draw any further media attention to the event? Aditya says that the BJP clearly does not want the farmers' protest to make the headlines and wants to ensure that the farmers' agitation does not become the main discourse ahead of the assembly elections.
Yes, absolutely. These are interrelated reasons. The BJP clearly doesn't want the farmers' protest to dominate the headlines, because headline management is like the core competence of the party and its spin doctors. The BJP also doesn't want the entire farmers' agitation to dominate the discourse ahead of the UP elections. They would much rather have the elections being fought on issues like love jihad, land jihad, and all the other kinds of jihad that the right wing has manufactured. So yeah, it's quite clear that these are the reasons that the BJP wants to ensure that none of the opposition leaders get to reach Lakhimpur Kheri, get to meet the families of the farmers who were killed. I mean, it's a government which is driven by optics would do all it can to prevent other parties from using optics for their benefit.
The incident also reached the Supreme Court on 4th October, which lashed out at farmer organizations for continuing with the protest and observed that, quote unquote, when such incidents happen, causing deaths, loss to property, and damage, nobody takes responsibility. The Supreme Court bench, headed by Justice A.M. Khanvilkar, was hearing a plea from a farmers' outfit seeking permission to hold a protest at Jantar Mantar. However, Justice Khanvilkar, in response, questioned why protests are taking place in the first place, given that the laws have not come to force at the moment. Pertinently, the SC also observed that it will examine if someone who has approached a constitutional court seeking remedy has the right to protest simultaneously on the same issue on the streets. So, what does the Supreme Court observation spell for the future of farmers' protests in India? Will it continue to erupt more after the death of 4 farmers, or will it reduce given the ire of the apex body? Aditya believes that the farmers' unions do have to take cognizance of the SC's observation. However, he adds that the court is placing more responsibility on the part of the protesters rather than the government.
So the protesting unions aren't party to the litigation going on in the Supreme Court. So as such, whatever the Supreme Court says may not have an effect on the protesting unions. Obviously, since it is the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court has put the laws on hold for some for a limited period of time. Uh, the farmers unions do have to take cognizance of it, but they can very well say we didn't approach the court, so we don't want to listen to it. At least politically, the farm unions can take that stand. But Supreme Court's general observations on the protests aren't very conducive to the right to protest in the country, because it does seem that the court is laying much more responsibility on the protesters uh, rather than the government to address the demands of the protesters. So that is an important point on the part of the Supreme Court, and this could affect the legitimacy of future protests. I mean, it does have a bearing on that. Regarding what happens after the killings that have taken place in Lakhimpur Kheri, obviously the protests are going to intensify. I mean, they just for the sake of avoiding chaos, the farmers might take just to ensure that there are no other incidents and to ensure the safety of protesters, farmers might take a step back for the time being, but the protests will intensify because the farmers who were killed are being seen as martyrs, not just in Uttar Pradesh where this happened, but also in Haryana and Punjab and Uttarakhand. So there is no other way for the farmers but to intensify their protests, because now it's not just about the farm laws, it's also about seeking justice for these farmers who have been killed. Obviously, this is going to intensify, especially in the run up to the elections, because the farmers want to send the message to the BJP that it cannot afford to ignore the interests of farmers, and that if the BJP does do that, then it would have to incur a political cost. So, I mean, there's going to be a protracted uh, struggle between the BJP and the farmers, and BJP would try to ensure that there is no political damage to it, and it will try to change the narrative to topics that it is more comfortable with. On the other hand, the farmers unions will have to continue plodding along on their part.
The protesting farmers in Lakhimpur Kheri called off the protest after the UP government promised to pay compensation of Rs 45 lakh to families of the deceased and Rs 10 lakh to those injured. The UP government also promised an investigation into the deaths of the 4 farmers. For more updates regarding this story, head to the Quint's website. You can also catch the updates on all our social media handles. If you liked listening to this episode, please subscribe to The Big Story for episodic updates. We're available on Apple, Google Podcasts, Spotify, JioSaavn, and most of the other popular podcast streaming platforms. For other podcasts, please log on to the Quint website, and for any feedback, please shoot an email to podcast@thequint.com.
Thanks for listening. Log on to the Quint's website and check out our other podcasts.